morning, everyone. Welcome. So this morning we are going to go over a general crypto market update. I haven't really looked at the charts much the last 2 days and zoomed out. So that's kind of what I want to do this morning. I want to zoom out a little bit, see how things are looking overall, and see kind of where we could go from here, okay? Quick before I start, I do just want to say I get asked a ton about where you should start if you want to learn trading or just basic beginner's guide stuff and things like that. So I am working on a beginner's guide, but that is not done yet. It's in progress though, so I'll be sharing that. It'll just be reading material. But one thing you can do is go over and subscribe to Karush on YouTube and watch his technical analysis introduction videos. He's got a lot of great content, so make sure to check him out. Not only that, I think he also has a where's it at? He has a newsletter coming out, I believe. So make sure you check that out. All right here. So make sure you check that out too. I'm sure that's gonna be great. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to that too. Karush is just super awesome. I've been talking to him a lot lately. Market updates are great. His educational material is great. And he's just a really nice person, He's like a really good guy. And that's sometimes hard to find on Twitter and in these spaces. So that's great. I'm really happy. And then another guy I found on here, you guys, is Wood Morning. He actually sent me some really cool Bitcoin coasters. I'll share those later. But he just makes some really awesome woodwork stuff. Like, look at this. This is insane. So I actually did order some stuff from this guy already. He's shipping it to me. And like I said, he sent me some free coasters too. That was really nice of him. It's really cool. These really super cool Bitcoin coasters. But anyway, so that's kind of just a quick rundown, a couple things for you guys. But let's take a look at the charts and see where things are at, okay? So just a quick look at OBV. We got some really nice, strong OBV today. So that's a good sign. That means there's buyers showing up at these levels, okay? You can see that we've kind of just been consolidating here, and consolidation in bullish conditions is usually bullish, right? So we're just kind of consolidating here. We're holding support, right? That's important. We're holding this daily support, this EMA support. If we lose it, or if we lose this EMA support here, the 11 EMA, we'll drop to the 22 EMA, so 356 for Ethereum, okay? But for now, I've got to lean a little bullish. Just from how the structure looks, we've seen some sellers come in, but it's getting bought up pretty quickly. And what we need to look for here is basically if Ethereum just gets a close above this trend line, okay? So anything above 395-ish on the daily, all right, we're going to be looking at very likely, especially with this nice volume coming in, it would be a high volume breakout, right? We're going to look at a push, and I don't think it's going to be a weak push either. We're going to be looking at 500 plus here. And I always zoom out, you guys, to start the day. I never start on the 15-minute time frame or anything. All right, you always want to zoom out and know where you're at. So another thing we see here is Top Goon X is really nice and strong on Ethereum weekly, and we're not to a pullback zone yet either. All right, so if we see another strong push here, we're probably going to get to a resistance zone here, which would actually be continuation. So we would see this momentum come through here, and then hopefully it would continue up. But this momentum would come through here, and usually when we come through here, we see a pullback, and it's almost like a pullback of an uptrend, right? So it's like a buy the dip situation usually. All right, so we could see that if we get another push, that would likely push momentum up, and then that's probably where we'd see our pullback at some point up there, okay? Weekly OBV is absolutely insane right now, super high. We've obviously got, a few days left till close, so wait till close. If this candle goes red, this OBV is probably going to be straight down, all right? The only thing I'm a little cautious about is this inside candle here. If last week's candle would have closed above this wick, all right, we likely would have seen instant continuation. If we would have closed above here on the weekly, we would have just rocketed right away to start this week. However, we did get a quick pullback. You can see that it was bought up quickly, and we're consolidating bullishly above above support. So above support. So here's kind of the main support I'm looking at. Okay. We broke out and retested the 99 SMA, so I call that support retest. So we break up here, and now our next resistance was over here, and we broke it. All right, so now we're just stuck in this little zone, and we don't really have any high volume breakout nodes here, any like high volume breakdown areas here that we really need to contend with. Is my audio echo? Sorry, you guys, if my audio is a little echoey, I'm working on it. I've got like my microphone's great. It's not the microphone's issue. It's just I'm in a new office, and it's a smaller room, and I just don't have much on the walls or anything right now. And I'm gonna be buying some acoustic foam and things like that to help with the audio. So I'm doing what I can with my audio right now. Sorry if it's a little echoey. It will get better. Okay. Just be patient with me. But I'm working on it. I promise you guys, because I don't want crappy sound quality for you guys. So just a little disclaimer there. I'm definitely actively working on it. I've already bought some things already that I'm using to at least make it a little bit better. And so maybe if I talk quieter, it's a little bit better. So I'll try to talk a little bit quieter right now so there's not as much echo. But anyway, so what you see here is there's not really any high volume breakdown areas here, okay? Like this was a high volume breakdown area, and we broke that, retested it, and that was mega bullish, obviously, right? So we just don't have really, we had this one here, like this was a kind of a high volume breakdown area, but we broke that too and retested it. So I really just don't see much up here to keep us back from at least going to wherever this is, 470-ish, all right? And honestly, if we break up from here this week and we break this high, I just think we're probably going to go to, 550, 600 area. That's not really a TA guess, I guess. That's more just my bias on it. I just feel like we've been consolidating here for about 2 weeks now. If we break up, it's going to be nice and strong again. And then that's where we may actually see a little bit of a pullback. So I have a question here. It says if I started off as a scalper or investor. I started off investing back in 2017, and then in 2018 the market was terrible, so I didn't want to invest because I had a feeling it was going to drop. Everything was going to drop. So at that point I learned to trade lower time frames, and then I was still having trouble on like the 4 hours and dailies or whatever, because it was just impossible to hold for very long. So I just started, reading low time frames and trying to get better at that. And so I've just been studying for a couple of years now, and Wyckoff is definitely super helpful for distribution and accumulation. If you get an understanding of that, it'll help you on multiple time frames. Okay. And then, obviously I built Top Next with Satoshi Heavy, which is a momentum indicator, and it's super helpful for, low time frame, especially because low time frames rely a lot on momentum. But it works on high time frames too, as you can see here. So let's dive into the 4 hour on Ethereum. One thing I want to talk about is this resistance I posted earlier on Twitter. Okay, and we actually flipped it, which is nice. That's a good bullish sign. Okay, so a lot of people like to buy resistance. Okay, so what you see here is, let's turn this red. I posted this yesterday or 2 days ago. I don't remember when. Today's 13th. I posted this yesterday maybe, and we were kind of at this resistance, okay? And I was feeling a little bullish here, but I didn't want to buy because we're at resistance, and this is actually a better short opportunity, technically, by the books, okay? But what we did do is we actually flipped it, and then now you could get in at basically the same entry. So I just don't see, there's just never a reason to buy at resistance, you guys, in my personal opinion, because if I buy here at 385, all right, and then we reject and we drop, there's a long way to fall. Whereas if I wait for this to flip, and then now I buy at 386 or 387 or wherever, and technically, I even could have gotten this entry. But if I buy at 386 or 387, that's a couple percent increase, but I also have less risk there. So I would rather buy a little bit later on, even like by a couple percent, than to buy here and then have it reject. So I'm always more sorry, stuttered a little bit there. I'm always more likely to buy a little bit higher at a lower risk than to buy lower at higher risk. Okay, so just remember that. For your longevity in the markets, That's really something you need to be aware of for longevity purposes. 9 times, yes, maybe it worked once, but 9 times out of 10, buying resistance is not going to work as well as buying support 9 times out of 10. Okay. Remember that, especially if you want to trade low time frames, you really need to know where supports and resistances are. And sometimes it's as simple as literally just seeing a support and buying it and selling quick after it bounces there, or seeing a resistance and shorting it and selling quickly after it rejects there. All right, that's as simple as it can be for scalping sometimes. Okay. So Ethereum on the 4H, we flipped that, so now our bias is a little bullish minded. Okay, because we flipped this, we're holding it nicely. We got a nice wick below, really high volume candle here. We're consolidating above. So are we above this trend line now? Not quite. This is a tough call. I would say we're just fighting with this trend line. Okay, we're consolidating on it, and usually when you're at the top of a trend line, okay, and you're consolidating on it, that's usually a good bullish sign, all right? Whereas if you're at the bottom of a trend line and you've touched it a few times and you start consolidating at it, it's a bearish sign usually. Okay, so this is more of a bullish sign. We're not getting rejected. Like, we've been rejected hard by this a couple times. We've been consolidated here and got rejected, and now we're back at it. And this trend line's been tested a lot. So when this breaks, it's going to be good if it breaks, okay? It seems likely that it breaks at this point. All right, we even have potential inverse head and shoulders play here. Okay, downtrend, inverse head and shoulders, retest, uptrend. So technically, if I'm looking to buy, I have a decent buy opportunity somewhere around here for Ethereum. All right, either buying spot or if I want a long. I always use lower leverage if I'm on these higher time frames. If I'm on lower time frames, I can usually go a little bit higher leverage, but then it's usually more of a scalp play. Okay, I don't like swinging with higher leverage because it's just riskier. Because you get these kind of crazy stop hunts sometimes and things like that. It's hard to predict, but anyway, so I'm leaning bullish bias here. Okay, that's definitely easy to say here. Okay, if we go to the 2 hour, let's see if it shows anything. All right, did we break our trend line on any time frame yet? That'd be interesting to know. So we're still fighting that trend line. Okay, nice lower wick here, really strong high volume candle here. We're retesting this as support. So everything looks pretty good right now. All right. We just need to break. this up here. So, that's what I see on Ethereum right now. Like I said, I think we could go pretty high if we do break up. Let's just say, take our fibs and we'll go, this is like the last impulse down, right? Because this one was an impulse down, but then we got an impulse up. So I'm going to say this is my last actual big impulse down. So I'm going to take my Fibonacci, and I'm going to draw it from the bottom to the top, or top to bottom, okay? And you can see we flipped the 0.382 last week, and we retested it, another bullish sign. And then now I would say 462 would be my 0.5 target, and then 576 area would be my golden pocket area, okay? And then I always like to look for confluence, because if there's multiple things pointing to one area, all right, on either end, if I'm looking for resistance or support, if there's multiple things pointing to one area, then that gives me more confidence in it, right? If I have only one criteria met on a trade or on a support or resistance, then I won't feel as good about it as if I see like 5 or 6 different criteria being met for those areas, okay? And so you can see here, this is one of those resistance zones I talked about earlier. Makes a lot of sense here. And then this zone actually doesn't make as much sense for a rejection in that golden pocket, right? There's just not much. I just don't see too much like important resistance area here. This one I can make a case for because this is where the breakdown really started. So that's going to be a resistance. And then obviously it was where this breakup started. So that'll definitely be a resistance to look for. So around like 460s, okay? But then this one actually doesn't make too much sense. So I'm actually going to delete that. And I'm going to say if we break this one and retest it, then I'm going to maybe expect us to go a little bit higher. And so I'm going to draw this here. And I'm going to say, so if we break this, we're going to go a little bit higher. So, 786, the 786 fib, which is at 684, which is right about here, right? So I shouldn't have deleted that before I drew this, but about right here. Now this makes a little bit more sense as a resistance zone, right? you know, big reaction here, huge Darth Maul wick, huge wick down into that zone, huge breakdown here, another huge breakdown here. So monthly resistance. So there you go. We also have monthly resistance too. I guess somebody, thanks Josh. Yeah. So there's a monthly resistance too. So you can actually zoom out and look at other resistances as well. So on a weekly time frame, this is where I would expect us to go if we flip this one. Okay. So if the monthly is at 500 and something, see, I still don't see too much resistance here. Yeah, there's a resistance here on the monthly, but this is more important area, and even like here is more important on the monthly, right? And you can see why where we're struggling at right now. We're just above this resistance here. Okay, we're kind of like in this really tight resistance zone between these two. So you can say that if we reject here, or if we reach here on the monthly, we might reject and then pull back to here. But I just don't see too much in here other than like this wick. But there's a lot of gap in here for me. And monthly OBV is looking really, really strong too. Okay. So yeah, that's where we're at on ETH. Let's take a look at, I don't really care to look at Bitcoin right now, honestly. We'll glance at it quick, but I haven't really done much on it. I honestly think at this point, Bitcoin could go sideways and alts could run. Bitcoin could go sideways as ETH pumps and then takes altcoins with it. I really don't know exactly what's going to happen on Bitcoin. The only thing I can show you guys is what I posted a little bit yesterday, is that Top Goon X momentum is really high right now. Okay, this is like as high as it's been in a long time. The last time it was this high was the start of this crazy bull run here. Okay, in 2017. Well, not the last time, but previously when it was that high, we started this bull run, and then the last time it was this high was up here. Okay. It was up here around this area, and you can see that about right here, okay, which is about right somewhere in here. So we dropped a little bit, reaccumulated, and rocketed up. And you can see here what's happening is we dropped a little bit, we're trying to reaccumulate, we could rocket up. The only thing is over here, I think we made so we had this low here, so we didn't make a lower low, we made it basically an equal low, right? Like, so that support held. So over here, so this support area is holding, and I guess it'd be technically this, okay? So yeah, so it looks good to me. We're holding this, so we could definitely rock it up out of here like we did previously, okay? OBV is looking really weird here. We almost have like a head and shoulders double top kind of weird thing. I don't even know. It doesn't look that healthy, but if this daily candle closes green, it'll look a little bit better. We do have this bull flag breakout here. All right. So this is a bull flag breakout on the OBV, and then the breakout was here. So we did retest that successfully so far. So a decent sign, okay? But it's definitely kind of ugly looking there. If we go to lower time frames, all right, this doesn't look like we curled over. We're making lower highs and lower lows, but lower highs, or higher highs and higher lows, sorry. But this could just be a bearish consolidation before we drop lower. But more, like I said, I'm more concerned with Ethereum right now. If Ethereum shows strength, Bitcoin could drop a little bit and altcoins could run, honestly. Like, think about it this way. If people have money in Bitcoin right now and they start moving it to altcoins, then Bitcoin would drop a little bit and altcoins could go up. That's not uncommon to see in bullish conditions. We did see it in 2017 a few times. So I'm not going to panic too much on anything yet. What else? We can look at algo, which has been popping. My only regret is not buying more of this. I had a big bag at like 35 cents. And I sold a lot at 45 just because I didn't feel like I had the best entry. I felt like I was a little late. Like if I was buying down here, I would have never sold. I would have just been accumulating. But I kind of got in up here already. And so I just wanted to be safe. I think I got in up here even. Like as it started going up, I was getting in. So, I just didn't like exactly where I was at, but I mean, I got in at 35 cents, so I'm almost up 100% on a smaller position now and made some decent profit on this. But overall, just zooming out, again, this chart just looks awesome. Top Goon X gave the buy signal, approaching, we dipped, and now we're rocketing, and we're still early on in this trend. I mean, seriously, this thing is probably going to, I would not be surprised to see at some point in the next couple weeks, this is at $1, $2, or even potentially $3, okay? This is just a strong chart, and it's been accumulating for a while. And actually, if I go like just this nice U bottom here, or V bottom, basically, it's almost like a diamond bottom. So yeah, here's algo. So this is really nice. Nice looking. Let's see. I think if I go to the Binance one, there's more history. A little bit more maybe. So if I go to daily, yeah. So basically what we had here was like, and we see this all the time, you guys, this like pre-accumulation thing where we get like exit sales, basically like exit selling, then we drop, we accumulate, and then we rock it. Okay, so here's our big resistance zone on algo right now, this area, okay, up to 83 cents. If we break 83 cents, then it's straight to like 133, and I just don't see too much reason for it to really break any lower. I mean, if we break this big zone, I mean, this is the one coin I did say the other day that could potentially do a 10x from where it was at. So it was at 35 cents when I said that. You know, a 10x would be 350-ish. So, I mean, it's totally achievable, in my opinion. This just looks like a lot of accumulation. Algo is a pretty strong company. I mean, I think they have a good team. So I'm sure they're working on some things. But this is just a lot of sideways, you know, since September till of last year. It's almost a year of accumulation, right? This looks basically like a year of accumulation to me, so I don't see any reason why this would stop. And who knows, man? Who knows, you guys? This could, what's the high? 340, $6, $7, $8. I mean, I would not rule it out. Let's check the fibs from this. So here you go. You got our levels. So we're retesting the 1337 right now. Okay. We're basically hitting the 1337, which would be our like max target for now, unless we break that. And then we're going to absolutely rock it, most likely. Okay. So algo's strong. You can't, it's hard to chase now, you guys. I wish I would have had a bigger bag. Even like yesterday, I thought about buying on these little dips, but I just don't like getting in so late on these. So, you know, I stick with my rules. If I get a 10x trade on this, I'm still gonna it's gonna be really good money. If I get a 10x on it or even 5x, it'll still be great money. And I already made, you know, like 6 or 7K off of my initial burst up. So I'm happy with it, but you know, I wish I would have just checked the chart a little bit sooner. This is where I would have felt a lot more comfortable getting in at. All right, we have a downtrend break, a retest, really nice strong volume on this breakout. I mean, this is just, it's just picture perfect, you guys. This high volume breakout is really, really nice. Okay, and then now you can see we're even breaking this big trend line here. That big impulse down, we even broke that. And the volume that's coming in right now is just insane. So I don't expect this to stop yet. Okay. And then on the Bitcoin pairing, it looks pretty much the same. A lot of accumulation. It's sideways. It's going to be going up and up. So if you got in early, great. There's nothing wrong with like laddering out. Sometimes you can ladder out and buy the dips. That's what I did on comp. I sold a little bit at 185-ish or 180-ish, and then bought back at 160. And then just laddered out from like 220 to 240-ish. And then I have like a very, very small moon bag now, but I could look to buy the dips maybe, but I'm kind of just letting it, you know, I'm looking elsewhere now. OXT is one that is looking pretty good to me. I shared this yesterday. You know, look, another downtrend break. Okay. Strong volume. I mean, this is Algo 2.0. Look at even our OBB is pretty similar. All right. Strong volume downtrend break. The only thing is here we're rejecting at resistance. That's the only holdup. But again, we got this really nice high volume break of downtrend. So it's only a matter of time, in my opinion. And I'm in buy the dip mode right now. on OXT. And again, this one's in about, about 4 months, 5 months of accumulation. Okay, so it probably won't break out quite as hard as algo can, but it could definitely still see, 33 to maybe 53 cents area, somewhere around there. Okay, maybe retest the highs at 65-ish, but I doubt I would hold out for that long. Top next with the buy signal approaching again on this one too, so it's early on. You can see algo when it got that. Where are we at on the daily? I think we were on the weekly for algo when we had that, or it was on Coinbase, or not Coinbase, sorry, Binance. Algo, Binance. Where was it? I don't remember, you guys. Here it's on the 3-day. I don't know. Anyway, maybe it was a different one I looked at. But anyway, so we got the strong buy approaching, and you get the dip. So we got the approaching here, we got the dip, and then now we expect continuation. So I'm just in buy the dip mode on this one. I may accumulate. I bought a decent amount yesterday. I may start accumulating more, especially if we dip to like 18 cents area. And then just if we start, if we lose this high volume area, this breakout, then we'll have to be a little concerned. This is a high volume breakout, so we definitely want to hold the bottom of that candle. EOS is another one I like. We'll look at that in a second. XRP, I can't really get a clean read on this chart ever, to be honest. OBV is breaking down, which doesn't look good. Let's see. I have started accumulating this. One thing we do have here is another downtrend break. Okay. So regardless of where this line is drawn at, I'm going to just line it up here. I'm going to say I'll probably accumulate down to 23-cent area. Yeah, I would like us to bounce sooner. We do have these two upper wicks here, a little concerning. Nice high volume breakout, a lower volume rejection. So, and then this week we're just kind of like consolidating. So I'm expecting either a strong breakdown or a strong breakup. But again, this would almost be like a buy the dip zone, a buy the dip situation in my opinion. And then I'd be looking at, and this one just hasn't really done anything in a long time. So I just feel like it's due for like an actual breakout. Okay. So I'm thinking somewhere around here. I don't know what that is. So 65-cent area, somewhere around there. And then actually I would even look up here, like towards this area. Like I would look, my final target to be like 82 to 93 area. All right. That's where I would want to sell everything. I just feel like it's due for a push. Maybe even have like a diamond bottom here. Okay, and then you got your retest here. So I think XRP is due for a push here at some point in the near future. And I think the Bitcoin pair is shaping up pretty well too. So we're just consolidating right now. And again, we could be breaking down here. This could be reaccumulation before we go higher. We almost have a double bottom situation here. And I did share this on Twitter yesterday, you guys. Double bottoms, one of the big things is volume profile on it. So we had high volume here, okay? I'll look at link here in a second, you guys. So we have this high volume here, and then lower volume here. And usually when you have lower volume on the double bottom, and again, we still have a long time for this, this candle doesn't close for another 4 hours or something, 3 or 4 hours. But usually on a lower volume double bottom, you will bounce after, right? So if we bounce here on on a little bit lower volume, retest on higher volume, there's more interest here, we usually break through. But when you have this, everyone buys here, they get their entry or whatever, we bounce, we revisit this zone, and then volume dies off because either people have already gotten their entries or people are adding like small amounts extra. There's less sellers this time around when we get to this level, and there's less volume there. Then it's kind of like the market loses interest here, and then when people don't want to sell at a level anymore, what happens? You start to go up, right? So I'm not panic selling anything yet. I'm more just accumulating right now. If some major levels break, I'll take some losses on some things, but like it's just using our percentages in our favor and our probabilities in our favor. Like algo downtrend break, buy the dips, it rocketed. comp, downtrend break, top connect, strong buy signal. All right, buy the dips. It rocketed. And again, I talked about it earlier, you get these like, and this is low volume anyway, but you get these like breakouts, and I actually bought a little bit here, and I sold it as we started, like right before we started to drop, or as we started to drop, I can't remember. Took a little, small loss on it. It wasn't a big deal, but the reason I did that is because I wanted to actually wait for this drop to play out, and then I wanted to accumulate. So as we dropped here, I'm unfortunate I didn't get this wick, but I started accumulating at 125 and above. So I was just accumulating for these days, and then we finally got that breakout, and then we broke out here, and I finally bought a little bit more at like 138 or 139 after we broke out, and then we took off. All right, so I don't usually accumulate before a breakout. Okay, so I like to get in a little bit late. On this one, I felt pretty good about it, just because I shared some OBV and stuff like that. And again, we almost have like a little diamond bottom here, so we're seeing this pattern a lot, right? A very common pattern we've been seeing lately in all these charts I'm looking at, right? But what I like to do is, I don't like to buy down here normally. Okay, like here, I don't usually like to buy, but I FOMO'd a little bit. Again, it was a smaller position. I won't FOMO with a large position, but here to here is 5%. Okay, so I would rather, just like here, I could have gotten in 5% higher and been safer. So I bought a little bit here, and was accumulating, and then when we broke up here, I basically doubled my position size. Okay, so I doubled my position size there because I had confirmation now, and then we took off. So that was a really big play, and you can see actually our OBV is kind of looking bullish here. We've got like a bull flag here. I'm mostly out. I still have a little bit in. I'm not going to add me back. I usually like to move on from charts after I played them. I did buy this dip here. And added back. Like I said, I sold here somewhere, added a little bit back at support, and that was on the daily chart. Okay, but that's just easy plays, you guys. So what you can do is you can wait for these downtrend breaks, and here it was actually on the daily, it was a little bit lower, so it was break here and retest. Wait for the downtrend break, you'll get in 5 to 10% higher, but your risk is so much less. And then what would have happened is if we just broke down through this trend line, I could have just closed, and I would have known it was a fake out. But the thing is, I was seeing increase in volume, and I want to see high volume on a breakout. All right, which is like what we had with OXT, and which is what we had with Algo. That high volume breakout. Like, this is just insane volume on this breakout. Okay, and now we want to see continued volume to take us through. Link, I think Link actually looks a little toppy. I shorted it this morning, and then I closed it break even because I don't know why. I just wanted to look at this. Damn, I should not have closed my short. I mostly just wanted to look at the charts this morning with you guys unbiased, but I actually shorted like 1676 or something with just a smaller position, and then obviously closed it, like I said. This almost looks like a head and shoulders reversal pattern on the 2H. I'm not going to chase the short now, unfortunately. But kind of one of the things I do see if I go to the daily. What are we on Binance? Okay, weekly. So weekly is where I wanted to look at. One of the things I do see on the weekly is a lot of decreasing volume. Okay, sure, we had a little bit of increase here to keep this going, but overall, decreasing volume, which tells me I think we're getting close to some sort of a pullback. Okay. And I am now upset I didn't keep my short open, but that's okay. There'll be more opportunities, right? This daily candle obviously has, 10 hours left in it or whatever, but it's looking like a trend reversal candle. So far, OBV is so far, making a new high, but again, if that candle closes red, that OBV is going to curl down. So as you see that, now we'd have bearish divergence here if that closes red, okay? And now I'm going to cry because I closed my short. Just kidding. So if that closes red, we're going to have this bearish divergence here. Okay? So keep an eye on that. I do think that it just looks toppy. We've got this rejection here. We're kind of curling over here. Again, decrease in volume. This is a really good short setup that I didn't take, or that I took and then I closed. Of course, and it looks like the market's just dropping in general right now. But what you see here too is this red volume. If you're looking at red volume, you're seeing a nice increase in sellers too as we go up higher. And then we've got this really high sell volume candle here. And that's kind of the top off for me is, low volume buyers and then really high volume sellers. So I don't even want to know how much my short would have been up right now. Yeah, 20%. Nice. Oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, this just looks like it's curling over, maybe like a head and shoulders here. We're breaking the uptrend for sure with some volume now. I would like to short a retest of this if I get it. Sometimes in these strong trends, you don't get that retest, you just drop. I can't short here now though, but if we do get a retest of these EMAs, or up here like around the 1670s or something, I could consider looking for short entries. We've got a nice high volume breakdown now. So I actually do think that link is getting close to being locally topped, at least for now. And if I'm looking for pullbacks, I'm going to assume that this breakout gets retested, so at least like 1350 to maybe even my EMA at 1280, which will probably move up, as the days go, so maybe like $13-ish. But if we break that, if we lose this, and this almost looks like a parabola, so maybe from here, get out of my way. All right, let's go. Come on, Link, you're gonna do it. We're gonna break down. What's gonna happen? I don't know. Very good trader, thanks. So here's what I would look for is if this breaks down, you can almost like short the bounce. And sometimes when parabolas break down, and I do actually like trading parabolas on low time frames too, because you usually get a large move. So if you get a parabola, you usually correct it like 70 to 80%. So if we do break this, right, this is a parabola and we break it, let's say 80% correction from here is 70% correction here is 492. Okay, so that's why I like trading parabolas even on low time frames. So here's two situations you do with parabolas. You break it, lower high, inverse head and shoulders type, or sorry, not inverse, a head and shoulders type deal here, and then you just drop down. All right, and obviously there's stuff that happens in the middle. Or the other option is sometimes you break and you get one more high. Whoops. You break, you get one more high, everyone freaks their hell out, and then you die. Okay? And again, of course, there's stuff that happens in the middle, but that's the gist of it. Okay? So that's the hard part on these is do you short that lower high or do you short the higher high, when they break. But when they break, they're a good short opportunity. Of course, this could just break and then just go up and just keep going. You have to be ready for that too, and you have to have risk measures in place. Okay? But as far as Link goes, honestly, I would be fine shorting a retest of 1670-ish, depending on how we close. What time is it? 10:15. So this 30-minute, 1 hour, and 1 hour still has this EMA support. So if we wait a little bit longer for this to kind of flip, again, I'm not going to chase a short right now because we're still at support on higher time frames. However, I do still feel like it's just losing steam. And this high volume sell candle here kind of makes me think that we might have just topped, especially with the 6H looking like it's starting to curl. And then you get this high volume rejection here. And then you just kind of like fall. All right. And then you go back to this breakout area. Yeah. So yeah, Marco, look for the parabola break. EOS, you guys, I actually really like EOS charts. So let's look at this. Okay. So let's zoom out to like the weekly. All right, again, weekly hasn't really done anything in a while, but OBV is strong as hell. Okay, so that's a good sign. Look at, nice OBV breakout. Really good sign. Okay, not only that, but I have almost like another diamond bottom here, right? We've seen this pattern a lot lately, haven't we? Okay, so we have that diamond bottom that we've seen on all the other charts that have basically broken out, right? So I think that this one could very well do a 2x from here. It's $3. I think it could go to $6 or even $7 maybe. And do we have a downtrend break though? No. Okay. So we basically are rejected at the downtrend right now. So for me to want to add, I need like this. Okay. So I need to break this trend line. The other option is that, is it? No, so I was going to say, you know how on those other ones, we would break down, we would retest, and we drop lower, but we actually, this is the trend line right now, and we're actually above it. So we broke back above it a little bit, and we're holding it right now. So I did buy some EOS yesterday, around $3. I'll probably won't accumulate anymore right now unless we break and flip something, and then I'll look to add a little bit more. But I do like how the diamond bottom on the weekly, and I like how the OBV looks. As far as 3-day, okay, I want to show you guys OBV here. I do see a nice inverse head and shoulders reversal pattern here. Okay, and if this candle is green on the 3-day, we'll get an actual nice retest hold because the candle was green last night when I was looking at this, but you gotta wait for candle closes. But we get this nice, oh, come on, there we go. Okay, inverse head and shoulders. We saw this on comp on the daily. Bam. Okay, and before we rocketed. So I do like that on the 3-day. All right, so that's a 3-day. I don't really care about the price action on the 3-day much. I didn't even look at it hardly, but I like that. On the 1-day, I notice a really nice flag formation here. Really, really consolidating, right? This has been consolidating for a long time now. So for almost 2 weeks now, it's been consolidating. That's great. Uptrend, consolidation, that just means that there's not very many people interested at selling here, right? For the most part, other than panic selling, because you can see all the lower wicks. But we actually even got almost like a breakout here, and then a retest, fake out, who knows. But we've just got a lot of lower wicks right now, and we're consolidating bullishly with OBV as high as it's been in a long time. Okay, and so we buy these downtrends. So OBV actually is breaking its downtrend, and again, OBV lines are never perfect. Okay, but something like this, even so maybe I can take these two. So here we go. So these two match with that, and then now we've got this breakout, and then a nice breakout here above this horizontal zone, and we're consolidating above. So that's all good to me. I really like how EOS looks on this chart. I'm not really going to go to lower time frames right now, but high time frames are accumulating. Top Gun X is showing really high momentum for the first time in a long time since last time we went up here. So all good signs to me. Could break down lower. It's not an accumulation thing for me. This is just if we started to break down, I'd probably close like I did with comp, and then look to either start accumulating at better levels or wait for the confirmation. For US Bitcoin, right? We've got Top Gun X buy signal here, and we've got a lot of strong momentum, and I don't see this often at all. This is strong upside momentum and price not moving at all. So when this breaks up, it's going to just freaking fly, in my opinion. It's just going to take off. We're going to see just a candle like this, okay? I really do think that when this breaks up, if it breaks up, we're going to see a huge ass candle like this on the EOS Bitcoin pairing, okay? It's going to be giant. And what we're seeing here is a lot of accumulation since May, all right? In my opinion, this is accumulation. We've got our selling climax up here, okay? If I go to lower time frames, we even have a selling climax into the zone, which is usually good, okay? And then we've got our spring here, our test, then we go up, all right? I just really like how this momentum looks on Top Gun X on the daily. I don't see that often, and we're just kind of consolidating here. And did we break downtrend? This is kind of a shitty line. I don't like that. We'll go with this. I like this angle better. So we did not break downtrend just yet. I don't think. All right, we're right at it. Okay. So we definitely need to wait for that to happen. But we got this crazy impulse down, almost like a parabola, but not really. We got this crazy impulse down. Now we're just kind of stuck here, and we're seeing volume start to show up here. And usually, volume showing up in a cluster area where the price doesn't move is a good sign. That usually means price is ready to move out of that zone. Okay, and it usually happens at tops and bottoms. So high volume here at the bottom, high volume here at the top, basically before we went down on this crazy bounce. High volume here, rejection. Another high volume cluster here. So now we got a high volume cluster after a big downtrend. So we just need to flip this. right? And we want to flip the EMAs, and we can go up from here. And like I said, if we break up, I think it'll be pretty strong, like all at once, and everyone will be FOMOing in at that point. So this is huge though here. We got a lot of bullish divergence signals, and then we got this strong buy signal approaching, and we dipped a little bit. I really like how Top Gun X looks on that. I can't say that enough. So, yeah, what else? BAT looks pretty good, kind of, but I'm not ready to buy this just yet. I can maybe accumulate. Nah, I just don't really want to look at this chart right now. Link. God, you guys, I can't believe I closed my short before this stream. But again, I just wanted to just have no bias when I stream this. I didn't want to like chart a bearish chart on Link, and just because I was in a short or something. Or I didn't want to be like trying to manage this on the stream either. But I almost kind of see a diamond top here even. This could be a stretch a little bit, but it's definitely possible. Okay. Man, yeah, I mean, Link just looks actually finally a little bit toppy to me. And like I said, I'm not going to FOMO in here. I don't FOMO on these big candles. That's why I kind of got in up here, because I had a clear invalidation. Like if I actually, so what level was that? 1697. So yeah, I basically got in somewhere around here and then put my stop just above this, and then closed at about break even, of course. So that's how it goes. But yeah, you guys, do you guys have questions or anything? I mean, there's not too much more to look at right now. All high time frame stuff, so it's kind of like sit and wait on a lot of these. I've pretty much just been playing spot lately. Because it's just been easiest. Because again, when you're playing leverage, you know, you get these crazy downside wicks, like we got on ETH. These crazy wicks. I just don't like playing leverage in these conditions, unless I'm on lower time frames, obviously. But just holding spot, you know. You can put a stop loss. You can put a really loose stop loss. I like to just do a manual stop loss on these when things are bullish, because you get those crazy wicks. ZRX has been showing strength. As I say that, it's got a big candle. ZRX has been one that I just haven't gotten into. But nice bull flag here. Nice break here of this. So technically, if I was going to get in, now's about the time to do it. This is just bullish as all get up. We got this momentum on Top Gun X breaking, and we got a dip there. So ZRX looks ready to fly. I mean, I could technically get in this now if I wanted to. So I may consider that a little bit. Because I do have this confirmation, this high volume breakout. We got a retest here. Do I need to buy right now? Yeah, I'll look later. Yeah, you guys, algo's still flying up 100% almost on this one. That's pretty cool. Even on a smaller position, it's still nice to see it up so much. Crazy. Nice. Yeah, you guys. Again, check out the, if you came in late, make sure you watch the beginning of the video, where I pointed out some stuff that you guys should be following. I need to do my Trezor giveaway announcement today, so I'll check that out. So I'll do that here in a little bit. I'm going to be on a couple podcasts today. I think Karush has me on a podcast, and then Panama Crypto has me on one here in like 30 minutes. So check on those. Stay tuned in the future for my beginner's guide. I keep getting asked a lot, where you can learn stuff. I have a Discord group. It's not like a signals group per se. It's more like a teaching group. I post just random stuff all the time, all day, every day. I'm like posting stuff. This was a low time frame Bitcoin, price action play I showed. I've got my altcoin trades here. We've got a lot going on in the chat always. I've got long-term charts that I actually haven't updated in a while, like Top Gun X, all, the help with that. So if you guys ever want in, there's a trial. You can get access to the indicators with the membership. You can cancel anytime if you don't like it. We try to teach, but I also share my trades. I even have an education channel on here. So I've got a lot of just tons of education here, that I've made throughout the years. Okay, tons of educational stuff. So that's even worth it, just to get in for that. But hope this was helpful, you guys. Keep watching me on Twitter. I'll keep posting my charts and keep you guys updated on my position as best I can. But yeah, it's just all about playing safe, you guys. We just don't want want to be FOMOing into anything, especially without confirmation. So play safe, move money around. If something goes up a ton, there's nothing wrong with pulling a little bit of funds out. Okay, something goes up 100%, take out your initial investment at least. If there's just no reason not to, because things can go down as fast as they went up, and over the long run, taking profit is going to benefit you more than not taking profit. Like even on comp, like, yeah, I thought it was going to go to like 300 because I was euphoric, and I took profit at 240s and laddered out between 240 and 225-ish. And, like, am I happy with that now? Yes. Will I be happy with that if it goes up to 300? Who knows, right? But it could just completely crash and burn from here too. So just be safe, or use a trailing stop. You just need to make sure you lock in profit. Like imagine buying this at 135 and then it goes up 90% and then it goes back to 135, and you're up 30, 40, 10K, 5K, whatever it is, and now you're up nothing. So try the biggest thing is try not to look at what you're up on a position, because you're really not up on a position until you close it. You don't have that profit until you close it and you put it in your bank account. Okay, so play safe, guys. Learn Wyckoff, distribution, and accumulation. I can't tell you enough. Keep studying that. And if you make a post and want to ask me questions on Twitter, if you're studying it, post it and I'll look at it and give you feedback on, if it's correct or not. But accumulation, distribution, and then OBV, especially in times like these, are going to be your biggest useful tips and tricks, and then learning how to, identify downtrends and downtrend breaks. So what's the Telegram link? For Discord, for Discord, you would just go to elevatetrading.com. Here, I'll type it in the chat real quick. This will take you straight to the members page. But again, I just do a lot of education in there. Like I post a lot of videos. I made a scalp tip video yesterday, a day or two ago for all of our members. So I'm just always posting random stuff in there, useful tips, whatnot, my random thoughts throughout the day. People ask me questions all day, every day. So we really try to help people learn how to trade though, and learn how to manage their money with lower risk. And that's kind of the biggest thing I think our members take away, is that they learn how to manage their risk and they're not taking all these big losses. Even if they're, you join, you're not going to instantly be a good trader, right? You're not instantly going to know how to trade, but you can instantly learn how to manage your risk. And if you're instantly learn that, then you're instantly not taking as many losses, right? You're not taking as big of losses anyway. And then that right there will help set you on the right track. So I would say that is the biggest feedback we get, is a lot of people just really learn risk management. So if you're struggling with that, I encourage you to at least try out the trial. Do the trial at least and see if you like it. Again, and then you've got not only me in there, but you've got Satoshi Heavy posting in there. Cobra Trading posts a bunch of like Forex stuff on there, I think. Satoshi's always posting Elliott Wave trades on there. Crypto Warrior is 10 times better at trading altcoins than me. But thanks again for all your support, you guys. I really appreciate you all. Please subscribe to this. Retweets on Twitter always help me out a lot too on my videos. But I'm just going to keep getting you guys content.